respect for the manager.
I felt betrayed. The Glazers, they don't care about the club.
He's done there now, isn't he?
He's to leave Manchester United with immediate effect.
The Glazers say they're thinking about selling.
Garnacho in the 92nd minute with his very first Premier League goal.
There's confirmation now from Ineos founder Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who says he wants to be there long term, as well as an offer from Qatar.
We won't be doing cartwheels in the street if the Qataris take over like Newcastle and City fans.
And somehow, Manchester United have found a way to lead the derby. Manchester United toast their first trophy success for 6 years. It is a record win against Manchester United, the biggest ever.
It's really unprofessional and angry about it.
They've been protesting.
We've had enough, we want them gone.
Who's the new owners?
Finnish businessman Thomas Ziliakis says he's still interested in buying Manchester United. The Glazers decided to go to a third round of bidding this week, something Ziliakis called a farce.
Highly unprofessional. Manchester City have done the double.
The Qatari bid is the one that's taken over. It's the one that's going to be accepted. Hallelujah, man. It's close. We're hearing it. It's within a matter of days that this is going to happen, if not hours.
Where are we at then?
Well, what a good question.
I can't see any hope for United at all, unless it happens.
It's their worst start to a Premier League season.
This uncertainty has been going on for almost a year and it needs to come to an end.
They're holding us hostage.
This weekend, talks broke down with Sheikh Jassim of Qatar. British billionaire Sir Jim Ratcliffe and his Ineos company are closing in on buying a 25% stake.
Jim Ratcliffe knows this deal isn't ideal.
They want to work with me, I want to work with them.
Well, Simon Stone has been across all of the twists and turns of this story, and there's been a few, and do join us now. Welcome to the studio, Simon. There's so much to get into with this, but firstly, let's start with, what does this mean for the day-to-day basis of football operations?
Well, eventually it's going to mean that Sir Dave Brailsford, the Ineos head of sport, and Jean-Claude Blanc will have a massive say in the day-to-day running of the football club, which is what people and supporters are more interested in. Sir Dave Brailsford was at Old Trafford on Boxing Day. I'm led to believe he is likely to be at Nottingham Forest this evening. He's clearly going to be looking at every aspect of the club: recruitment, manager, players, things under the bonnet almost that nobody sees, to see what changes can be made to make Manchester United a better team. And if you look at the league table, many people would argue a lot of changes are required to make them the team that people expect them to be.
You mentioned the word recruitment there. Manchester United fans' ears, I'm sure, will be pricking up. Will this affect anything in the business that they could potentially do in January?
Unless there is a massive influx of money from the ownership side, and I don't see that. Manchester United are constrained like any other club because of financial fair play. They don't have central, the Glazers have not put money in, basically. They don't have a central input of money, so there's a limit on what they are allowed to spend, and they are nearly at that limit. So maybe they could sell players to create some money to buy some new players, but at the moment people are saying it's going to be a quiet January. And I think Ten Hag yesterday, when he was in his press conference, he was going through the players like Casemiro, like Harry Maguire, Lisandro Martinez, Mason Mount, who are due back in the middle of January, and I think they're looking at that as being their recruitment almost, rather than going out and buying new players.
Michael, what does this do for Erik Ten Hag? Does this put more pressure on him, maybe?
I'm not sure about it could be any more for him. I think he knows he's under pressure. He knows he's got to get results. I think the uncertainty around the team, they are obviously missing so many players. We get that, but players that have come in haven't really performed, and then there's players who will be leaving have now been relied upon. So it is a difficult situation. I think what we need is that stability, that understanding from a player point of view. Who's going to obviously be the person signing the players? What players are going to be available? And then I think the supporters will maybe ease off a little bit and say, well, we can see the plan now, but it's difficult and it's going to take a long period of time.
Do you think the new people coming in, particularly Brailsford, will look to iron out the stalemate between Ten Hag and Jadon Sancho as a priority? From a monetary sense, as well as, you know, the players just not on the pitch.
Well, I'm sure that is, you know, on his to-do list, but I don't know how that can be ironed out, because Jadon Sancho at any point, and Erik ten Hag has made this perfectly clear, could have apologised for the way he behaved in the aftermath of that Arsenal game, and it could have been put to bed. We're talking months now. If that apology
that's only one problem, though, isn't it? We can see an apology on one player, but I just think Manchester United, there's got so much on. That's one of so many. I think that's the difficult for this manager in particular that he's had to put up with at Manchester United. But the recruitment, the money's been spent.
Let's look at the bigger picture and what this could mean. Is there a pathway to full ownership, do you think? 'Cause this is only 25% at the moment, as I said.
That's right, and it will go to 29% because there's a convoluted process by which, once this initial deal is done, then there'll be another $200 million put in, and then by the end of the year there's another $100 million. That's supposed to be for infrastructure, so the stadium, the training ground, but it can change, but that will take Ratcliffe up to 29%. We can't say in advance what he's going to do, because that would break stock market rules. It's always been apparent that Jim Ratcliffe has wanted to get controlling interest of Manchester United. I think that still remains. How we get to that point is a bit unknown at the moment.
I think I know the answer to my final question. In one word, is this the end of the saga?
No.
That was quite predictable. Simon, best of luck covering this. As I said, twists and turns already, and I'm sure many more to come. Thank you very much to